Welcome to the online classes. Now we are going to discuss about the fourth unit, that is modeling of transmission lines. Modeling means it is a designing of transmission lines. What is the necessity of designing or modeling means to ensure a better voltage regulation and efficiency from the power transmission system in order to view the continuity of power supply and quality of power supply. At the same time, in order to deliver a bulk amount of electric power over a long distances, a proper designing or modeling is necessary for transmission lines. That's why in this modeling of a transmission line, we are going to discuss about the short transmission line, medium transmission lines, and long transmission lines of performance. Long transmission lines performance. So see here, first one is the classifications of transmission lines. How the transmission lines are classified. Here, the classification of a transmission line is based on the length of a transmission line and their operating voltages. Is it? The transmission system different operating voltage levels are there. That's why here, based upon those operating levels and the length of the transmission line between generating stations to the distribution system, the transmission lines are classified as three types. They are a shorter transmission line, medium transmission line, finally longer transmission line. These are the three basic types of transmission lines. These are classified based on their length and operating voltages, operating line voltages, and the length is in kilometers or miles. So first we are going to discuss about a shorter transmission line, medium transmission line, and a longer transmission lines are definitions or what is their nature. See here, shorter transmission line. Short transmission line means in this the length of a transmission line is less than 80 kilometers and operating voltage is less than 20 kV. Right now, when the transmission line effective length is less than 80 kilometers or 50 miles and operating line voltage is less than 20 kV, such a transmission line is called a short transmission line. Is that right? So here, if we can observe, the length is less here. Length is less means the parameters are inherently depends upon the length of transmission line. Parameters means resistance, inductance, and capacitance. Is that right? So here, not only the length here, operating voltage also less here. Length is less than 80 kilometers as well as operating voltage also less than 20 kV. That's why here there is no much more voltage level here. If there is no voltage level, the amount of charge stored in the conductor can also reduce. Then finally what happens means capacitance effect is negligible in the shorter transmission line because of if there is no appreciable voltage, there is no charging, there is no charges. If there is no appreciable storage charges, there is no charging currents. There is no appreciable charging current. That's why charging currents are negligible. That's why capacitance can also negligible due to their smaller length and lower voltage of a shorter transmission line. That's why a short transmission line can be represented with only its resistance and inductance, not capacitance, because of capacitance is negligible in short transmission line due to their smaller length and lower voltage. The next one is medium transmission line. What is mean by medium transmission? When the length of a transmission line is more than 80 kilometers and less than 250 kilometers, and the operating voltage is more than 20 kV and less than 100 kV, such a type of a transmission line is called medium transmission line. Means the transmission lines which are having effective length more than 80 kilometers or 50 miles and less than 250 kilometers 150 miles and the line voltage is more than 20 kV, but less than 100 kV. Such a type of transmission lines are called medium transmission lines. Medium transmission lines. If you can observe here, length is appreciable. Length is there, some finite length, and also voltage also not less than 20 kV. 100 kV means it's also some appreciable voltage. That's why voltage is exist. The length also appreciable length is exist. That's why charging currents also existed here. That's why capacitance does not negligible in this case. Capacitance is presented in the medium transmission line due to its medium length and medium voltage. Exactly. That's why unlike a shorter transmission line, the line charging current of a medium transmission line is appreciable, and hence the shunt capacitance must be considered. Shunt capacitance means the capacitance which is connected between transmission line conductor and ground is called shunt capacitance. Actually, in the transmission line, two types of capacitances are there. The first one is the capacitance exists between the two phases of a transmission line or any two conductors of a transmission line. And the second one is the capacitance which is existed between any one of the conductor of a transmission line to the ground. Such a capacitance is nothing but shunt capacitance. In a shorter transmission line, that the shunt capacitance is negligible due to its smaller length and smaller voltage. But in medium transmission line, appreciable length and voltage is there. That's why shunt capacitance must be considered. That's why medium transmission line can be represented with its resistance, inductance, and finally capacitance in parallel. Is that right? That is about a medium transmission line. Next, longer transmission line. Here, longer transmission line means the effective length of a transmission line is greater than 250 kilometers, and the operating line voltage is 100 kV. Such a transmission line is called longer transmission line. That's why a longer transmission line is defined as a transmission line with an effective length of more than 250 kilometers or 150 miles, and line voltage is more than 100 kV. Such a type of transmission line is called longer transmission line. Here, one thing is that shunt capacitance is appreciably existed. Why? Because the length is more than medium transmission line. Operating voltage also more than medium transmission line. That's why here this longer transmission line is represented with the resistance, inductance, capacitance. But one important concept is there. What is that means? We have two types of parameters in our electrical circuits. Those are lumped parameters and distributed parameters. Is it? Lumped parameters means physically separable elements are called lumped parameters. Physically not separable elements are called distributed parameters. Is that right or wrong? So that's why here what happens means, if you can go to the electronic laboratory or electrical laboratory, resistance, inductances, capacitances are there. 1 kilo ohm, 2 millihenry, 25 microfarad, like that. That means what happens, we can separable those ranges. Is that why? Because whose length is very small in our laboratory. In the same manner here also, the shorter transmission line and a medium transmission line, length is somewhat less compared to longer transmission. That's why due to smaller length of short and medium transmission lines, the resistance, inductance, capacitances are treated as lumped one. That's why the circuit also lumped one. But in a longer transmission line, length is more than 250 kilometers. It may be 600, it may be 1000, it may be 1200, it may be 1600 kilometers, like that. Length is very more. That's why we didn't consider the parameters like resistance, inductance, and capacitances are lumped one. Those can be treated as distributed one. That is the very important consideration in the long transmission line. The parameters are not lumped one. Those are always distributed. That's why unlike short transmission lines and medium transmission lines, it is no longer reasonable to assume that the line parameters are lumped. Only in the longer transmission line, the parameters resistance, inductance, capacitance can be treated as a distributed one because of length of longer transmission line is very more compared to the shorter transmission lines and medium transmission lines. So these are the basic definitions and the natures of the three types of transmission lines, three types of overhead transmission lines existed in the transmission system. So now if you can observe the important terms related to the transmission system, the first one is voltage regulation. Generally, how can we define the voltage regulation? General definition is the change of terminal voltage from no load to full load is called voltage regulation. But in the transmission system, the voltage is delivered from the supply system or sending end, and voltage is received at the receiving end. That's why here voltage regulation in the transmission system can be defined as the change of receiving end voltage. Receiving end voltage is the terminal voltage here for transmission system. The change of receiving end voltage from no load to full load is called voltage regulation. Is it right? Voltage regulation of a transmission line is measure of change of receiving end voltage from no load to full load condition. Is that right? So if you can observe at no load, load resistance is negligible, is a zero. That's why we will consider the voltage drops are also negligible, and at the same time the receiving end voltage equal to sending end voltage. Because if there are no load changes, there are no voltage drops, then Vs supply voltage is equal to output voltage. In the same manner here also that consideration is applied to the transmission system when at no load resistance is negligible. That's why what happens here is sending end voltage is equal to the receiving end voltage. But at a load condition, load resistance is added. That's why transmission drops are there. Voltage drops are exist. Then what happens? Receiving end voltage is less than sending end voltage. That's why there is a difference between the voltage from no load to full load. That's why voltage regulation can be expressed as Vs minus Vr divided by Vr into 100. Here is a not percentage here. Already 100 is there. So there is no percentage here, just 100. Is it right now? So Vs means sending end voltage, Vr means receiving end voltage. At no load, there are no drops. Vr is equal to Vs. That's why receiving end voltage at no load means that is equal to the sending end voltage. And at load means it is not equal to the sending end voltage. It is less than sending end voltage. That's why Vr divided by Vr. This is the formula for voltage regulation in the transmission system. And see here like this. And one more important term is transmission system efficiency, or simply efficiency of a transmission line. Generally, a transmission line can be defined as, efficiency can be defined as is the ratio of output power to the input power. In the transmission line, output power means receiving end power, input power means sending end power. Is that right? That's why the efficiency of a transmission line is defined as the ratio of power delivered at the receiving end to the power sent from the sending end. That's why percentage efficiency of a transmission system or transmission line is equal to power delivered at receiving end to the or divided by power sent from sending end into 100. So then power delivered at receiving end means this AC, not DC. That's why P is equal to VI cos phi, where cos phi is the power factor. Is the power factor. That's why the power delivered at receiving end is VR IR cos phi R. Where cos phi R is the receiving end power factor, VR is the receiving end voltage, IR is the receiving end current. And here divided by Vs Is cos phi S, where cos phi S is the sending end power factor, Vs is the sending end voltage, Is is the sending end current into 100. And phi R is the receiving end power factor angle. Phi S is the sending end power factor angle. Is it? So that's why efficiency of transmission system is equal to the VRIR cos phi R. That means here it is output power and here it is input power. Sending end power can also expressed as VRIR cos phi R, output power plus losses, total losses. These losses are line losses or transmission line losses. Is that? So these lines losses are due to the resistance, inductance, and capacitance. That means I square R losses, I square XL losses, inductive reactance losses, and I square XC losses, capacitive reactance losses. Simply I square Z impedance losses. Anyway, these are the formulas for calculation of efficiency of a transmission line here. Is that right? Thank you.